All right, welcome back to Gun Culture Radio. I thought I'd record a little intro here to this episode that you're about to listen to with the Yankee Marshal, because after I recorded this, we got a sponsor. So here at Gun Culture Radio, we have our first ever sponsor, and that's with SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute. They're an accredited online gunsmithing school, and they also offer some other things. Check out their website at sdi.edu. That's just a really cool service that they provide for people to learn how to be a gunsmith, and you don't have to drive out to where they are to do it. They basically send you a kit with a bunch of stuff that you need, and you can just do it from home, which is great for people who have a busy work schedule, or whatever. And also they do offer GI Bill, so that's also great for veterans. I know there's probably a lot of veterans out there that would love to get involved in the firearms industry because they're used to firearms, or maybe they have an interest in firearms. So that's just an awesome option. So check out the website sdi.edu for any more information, and hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, welcome back to Gun Culture Radio, and I'll continue to remind everyone that the show, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can get the show on iTunes now. Check the link in the description. And if you're listening to it on iTunes, there is a YouTube upload of the podcast over on Hickok 45 and Son at YouTube. But this week I have on the Yankee Marshal, and man, I really appreciate it coming on.
That's no problem. I got nothing else to do today.
Yeah, hey, me neither. But I've been ever since I started this thing, I was thinking, I need to get that guy on sometime because, the thing I know that you're a very controversial guy out there in the gun world, and definitely you're not afraid of that. That's for sure. And
that's one way to put it. Controversial.
Do what?
That's one way to put it. Controversial. Most people just call me an a-hole.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I like to shed a nice light on it. But man, like I feel like sometimes people one reason I think there's some people that don't the ones that don't like you, it's like they're taking life just too serious or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's like sometimes people have a hard time thinking outside the box. But that's one thing I always thought was cool about your videos. And I don't always agree with you. I don't agree with everyone. I don't agree with everything from anyone. But I always like the fact that, you kind of think outside the box and you say kind of stuff that you don't always hear from gun people. And you even consider yourself a liberal, which I think is kind of cool. I wouldn't consider myself a liberal, but, I like that it really helps, in that stereotype that every single person who owns a gun is a certain way and has a certain ideology and is some hardliner conservative. Not that there's anything wrong with those. So man, I think that's cool.
When I made my videos, when I first started my channel, I didn't do my channel to become popular.
Right.
So I didn't see any point in just saying things because people want to hear it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying things because people want to hear it, because some people want to produce likable content. I mean, everyone that does a Xarelto commercial doesn't actually use Xarelto. They're actors and they're presenting a product. And a lot of people do that. And a lot of people also just want to make videos to, bring together a sense of community. That wasn't my goal. I wasn't here to cheerlead or to be popular or to do anything like that. I mean, if you watch my videos, growing my channel is not the goal of my channel. The goal of my channel is to just say what I want to say in the way I want to say it. And if people want to listen to it, that's great. But like I said, this to me is not cheerleading. It's not popularity. It's just I wanted to present the fact that there are people out there that are not like the normal everyday gun channel.
Right. Yeah, because there's plenty of that, and I like
that's exactly right. There's plenty of that. And that's one thing I always say all the time. People will say to me, "Why don't you just show up and do more range videos?" I'm like, "Are you having trouble finding range videos?"
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think there's a ton of them. Go find one.
Yeah. That's what Hickok 45 is for, right?
That's what I tell people all the time. It's like, go watch Hickok. If you want to just watch some guy that can actually shoot, don't watch me.
Well, that's the thing. It's like people, they if you ask anyone if they like diversity, they'll say yes. But when it really comes down to it, people complain when they see things that are different. I don't get that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, it's just people don't know what they want. They want to make people think they want something when they really don't want it at all. But they think it makes them feel more I don't know, more well-rounded if they pretend they want it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're patting themselves on the back or something. But
yeah,
it's
self-gratification.
Yeah, exactly. But it's cool that yeah, you had the guts to go out there and just say what you thought and not care if you were saying something that kind of goes against the typical gun guy program of how things are and should be. You know.
Yeah, I'm not very much. I am not with the program. I don't have an operator beard. You know, I don't run around in a flak jacket. I don't pretend like the government's coming to get my guns.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that stuff. I don't have a problem with people who do it, but it's not what I want to do. And if you don't like the fact that it's not what I want to do, don't watch my channel. Yeah,
exactly. Like we said, there's plenty of diversity out there. That's what's cool about the YouTube, gun community is that there's a little bit of everything out there. Whatever your interest is, if you're like, real into the tactical stuff, of course, and there's plenty of that. The thing about all that gets me the most is a lot of people I get this all the time in my videos. So you need to make up your mind. You were real right of center in this opinion, then you're left of center on that opinion, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what do you mean I got to make up my mind? I don't have to choose sides. Yeah.
I can be who I am and then think differently about different opinions. There's a lot of gray in the world. It's not black and white. And if you refuse to see the gray, that's not my fault.
Yeah. It's just the political system that kind of makes us feel like we have to choose between, Democrat or Republican, this or that or black or white. Yeah. I mean, a lot of that is just our society and our culture that kind of, it tries to funnel us into these different directions. So yeah, when people hear you say, "Oh, I like this one thing and I like that other thing," people go, "Wait, what? I've never heard those two things together before. That's not right. Yeah. Something's wrong there." But yeah,
people they freak out when they think that I'm being contradictory when it's really not contradiction. It's just open-mindedness. You can see that, okay, I don't agree with this. I'll say I don't agree with this. And then in another video, I'll be defending someone's right to do it. And they'll be like, well, make up your mind. I'm like, there's no contradiction there. I could disagree with something, but still respect someone else's right to have a different opinion about it.
Right, exactly. And I think that's awesome. Like that's one of my goals is to always try to promote just being accepting of other people's beliefs and ideas. Because, when it gets down to it, we're all 99.9% the same, really, at the end of the day, So there's no reason in getting so upset and bent out of shape about things. And I mean, debating and a healthy debate is awesome, but like actually getting mad at other people because they look at something differently, that's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's the way I always look at it is sometimes I'll argue with you for just the sake of argument, but
yeah,
I mean, that's just the character I play on YouTube.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't really get offended with someone's opinions until they become hateful or racist or, just mired in resentment. Then the opinions bother me. But as long as someone's got an honest opinion about something, I don't give a crap what your opinion is. I mean, I don't care if you have it or not.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, one of the things too, like so you're a self-admitted liberal, and of course in the gun world, that's like an unpopular thing apparently because somehow being a liberal has something to do with guns, which I don't really understand that necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, I do because, okay, like typically liberals are considered more anti-gun, but why does that matter? Like, that's just a problem with our system that people feel like because they think a certain way that they have to think also that way about everything. But anyway.
I mean, the left falls as prey to the indoctrination as the right does. And a lot of people that are on the left that really aren't anti-gun. When you sit down and talk to them one-on-one, they're really not.
Right.
But they always carry the anti-gun banner because they're convinced that, well, that's my party's banner, so I got to carry it.
Right. Yeah.
Just like the right does with their causes. They think, well, Boy Larry said it, so I got to support it.
Yeah.
So sometimes the left does the same thing. And it's like I say, it's just a symptom of the disease that affects all the parties in this country, not just one.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So with that, I thought it'd be cool to talk about like how, so basically, some people are very for, like libertarians, for example, because I saw a video that you made about, because a lot of people something, if you seem to have any type of liberal values, people like to label you as a libertarian if you like guns, because they think, well, this person likes guns, but they also seem kind of liberal, so they have to be a libertarian. And I know that's probably something that you were getting annoyed by, and you finally made a video about it. So I thought that.
Yeah, I made a video called "I'm a Liberal, Not a Libertarian."
Yeah. And as soon as I watched that video, I was like, oh, okay, I get why he made this video. I know exactly what probably happened. So I thought it'd be cool to talk about that. So like, in a nutshell, libertarians are for like almost no regulation of society, and liberals are for more regulation of society. So I mean,
it didn't start out that way, in my opinion. In my opinion, the libertarian movement just kind of started off as a common sense, and I hate to use the word common sense because it's been corrupted so much. But it kind of started off as a common sense movement of, hey, some regulation is okay, but it's gone too far.
Right.
And then it got co-opted by the Koch brothers and big business and et cetera. And then a lot of people started, if you start watching it, it started being force-fed this message that the only people that know what's right for you are the people that, own the factories and own the mines. And that is clearly demonstrated throughout history that those are the people that care the least about what's right for you. The ones that care about what's right for you are usually the people in your same condition, and that's your neighbors. That's your family, that's your friends. And when you all band together, that's called government. So there is a place for government. And unfortunately, the libertarian movement has been corrupted to the point where they think there's no place for a strong government. And I can never be libertarian. For one, I always say, hey, I just don't have that much faith in my fellow man, so they'll do the right thing. And two, because historically we don't. When we're given too much freedom, it's not us as individuals that do the wrong thing, but people that get too much power do the wrong thing. That happens in government too. But I've just seen throughout history that when you allow the money to make the decisions, it doesn't go well for everyday people.
Yeah, I agree. Whenever businesses get too much power, bad things happen because businesses care ultimately about making money, not about necessarily bettering people's lives. And we tend to think that they do, that they care about us because maybe they make some product that we really like or that we think we need or something like that. So they care about us. Look at that commercial that was on TV. Of course Coca-Cola cares about us. Did you not see that commercial?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And people always love to use that whole government thing of they're like, the founding fathers warned that our government can become a great danger and we should be fearful of our government. I'm like, yes, and they gave you reasons why to be fearful of your government and things that would be the most fearful of your government. They told you one of the things that can go the most wrong with your government is to allow religion to play too big of a role in your government and allow the moneyed powers, they call them moneyed powers, to play too big a role in the government. And people love to dismiss why they should be afraid of the government. They just want to say it's carte blanche to government. And by doing that, they're turning the power right over to the people that the founders warned you shouldn't let take control of your government. That's the moneyed powers.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
that's why we left England. Do they not remember the India Trading Company? That was one of the biggest problems that our founding fathers had with the government of England.
Yeah, it's true. And of course, there's also the other side of it too, where I mean, like you said, the Liberal Party has kind of changed a lot, over the past several years. But on the Liberal side, it does seem like what they're wanting is more regulation of things, more like. It feels like they want to really micromanage a lot of things, right? So like people do have some legitimate concerns about that because it can be kind of difficult to start a small business in this country. There's so many things you have to deal with, so many specific taxes and all these little minute details that you have to focus on, all this kind of stuff. When really it's the problem is some of the it really doesn't do much because only the small business owners are the ones who actually follow these regulations, and the really big corporations have so much money that they can basically circumvent them by hiring teams of lawyers and all this kind of stuff.
Well, it's not just that. They write the laws with what they call loopholes. But these aren't loopholes. These laws don't get written and someone accidentally writes something that it gives a billionaire a way to get out of trouble. Those are intentionally written in because they're funded in. They buy those into the law.
Yeah.
And, the way I look at regulation is regulation should be simple. Regulation should say, hey, if your business harms people, you're going to jail and you're paying for it. That's not as simple as regulation needs to be. It doesn't need to be, okay, here are the 50,000 things you need to do to prevent you from harming someone. That doesn't need to be written into law. All it needs to be is the end product that says, hey, Exxon, if you dump oil in the river, you're going to jail. They don't need to write 50,000 ways they need to stop from dumping oil into the river. It should just be the end cause. It's like I feel the same way with gun laws. We don't need 50,000 gun laws to try to prevent crime. It just needs to be illegal to harm someone with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. There's already a ton of laws against harming people. Why do we need to head that off at the pass by saying, oh, if you have this certain material object in a certain location under a certain circumstance, you're going to jail for that. It's crazy.
I mean, if we just stopped letting, like what happened in West Virginia not too long ago, and I'm from West Virginia, so it sits close to home, where that company completely polluted the river because they were dumping chemicals into the river.
Right.
Those guys, most of them are getting off scot-free because they did it under shell corporations, et cetera. The corporate is responsible, not me. Take that crap away.
Yeah.
If you're running the company and you break the law, you go to jail.
Yes,
and you pay the fine. You pay the penalty. You take that away, and then you don't need to micromanage them. You don't need to watch it every step of the way, because if they know they're going to jail if they poison the river, you don't have to sit and hold their hand the whole way. They'll do the things to prevent themselves from poisoning the river, so they don't go to jail.
Yeah, I'd say we definitely agree on that then. So the problem is not so much whether there's too much regulation or too little regulation. It's the how the regulation is done. It's too complicated.
Yeah,
what you're saying is like exactly what I've been saying about the tax system in our country for a long time. It's just this stuff doesn't need to be that complicated, because the thing that you're trying to avoid happening with the regulation is actually pretty simple. Like you said, I mean, in a nutshell, we just don't want we don't want innocent people to get harmed. That's it. That's really all it comes down to.
Like I say, the end result, you just need to make the end result illegal. You don't need to say, you can't do this and you can't do that. It's like I say with gun laws. They shouldn't tell me, hey, you can't have this caliber. You can't have a gun that fires in this fashion. You can't have a barrel that's this short. All you got to do is say you can't take your gun into a bank and shoot somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like the Columbine shooting. I remember, I can't remember exactly what number it was, but there was like 11 or 12 felonies or something like that were committed before they even fired a shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
and none of those laws prevented them from firing the first shot, and they never do prevent anyone from firing the first shot.
Yeah, and
so they don't do anything.
Yeah, and that's the point of that. I mean, I've said this a million times. If some bank robber decides it's to his advantage, let's say, to have a short-barreled shotgun, you really think he's going to be stopped by the SBR law? He's like, I might go murder some people, but there's that pesky little, short-barreled shotgun law. I better watch out for that one.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone that said, I'm going to go murder my neighbor, but then they went, crap, I'm not going to, because it's illegal for me to take my handgun outside.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop them. If they're to the point where they're going to go murder their neighbor, why do they care if they also get public display of a weapon charge?
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy. It's just insane. It's frustrating, some of these just completely empty arguments that the other side, the anti-gun side, tries to use.
And the things they ignore. It's like, I love, just like today on the news, I love how everyone is ignoring the fact. They never point out the problem of every time someone is killed with a gun, they go on and on about, oh my God, 11 people were killed, or oh my God, 7 people were killed. 2 guys with improvised bombs just killed 138 people walking into a place of worship and exploding themselves.
Yeah.
I was like, but no one comes on and goes, maybe guns aren't that big of a problem if people are killing 7 or 8 at a time with firearms, but these guys are killing, 138 with bombs. Maybe taking away guns isn't going to end death, so maybe we're wasting our time.
Right. They know that they can't really, they can't really do anything about explosives, because anybody who has some sense can make explosives they want to. So it's hard to control. And I've kind of, I've gone through several stages of how I view this whole anti-gun thing. And at first, I had the view of like, oh, look how ignorant these politicians are, and look at all this kind of stuff. And then I went from that to thinking, oh no, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not ignorant of guns. They actually know what they're doing, and they're scared of the population having guns. And then where I'm at now is I still think that politicians actually do know about guns, like Dianne Feinstein and all these Chuck Schumer, all these different what are known as like gun grabbers, right? That we usually call them. I think they know plenty about guns. I don't think they're ignorant of guns. I think they know plenty about them, and they know exactly what they're doing by trying to take away guns. But I don't think that they're afraid of people having guns in the sense of like a revolution is going to happen.
No.
I don't think that's what it is. I think what it is it's all about like it's about mental control. It's about like if they know that if the population doesn't have guns, they'll feel more reliant on certain things. The government will be able to basically do more with the population, have better control over the population mentally if we don't have guns. That's just how it seems like to me, at least.
Well, I agree with that. And I also agree with they play a chess game. The right and the left, if we sit and we think that they're all really that different, we're crazy. They play games. They pretty much believe, you notice that neither one of them ever has a gray opinion. It's always black on one side, white on the other. And I think they do that intentionally because, what is more dangerous to the powers that be than someone with a gun is 1,000 people with a common belief. Right. And if they allow us to start saying, hey, we all want 99% the same things, well, then we're all going to start having a common belief, and we're going to start holding them accountable when they don't do the things we want them to do. We're going to pay attention to them. We're going to throw them out of office. They don't want that. They want us divided. So they have to say, okay, you take the black side, we'll take the white side, and we'll pretend there's no gray, and we'll force everybody into different camps so that no one ever unites on any given cause.
Right. Yep, divide and conquer. Yeah, I mean that's how it's been done for the past thousands and thousands of years.
And people just don't see that. I hate to break it to you. There's not a single Republican politician that wants you to be united and armed more than there is any Democratic politicians that want you united and armed. They just take different sides of the issue to divide you so that you don't notice that neither of them is really doing anything for you.
Well, and plus, one thing that's interesting too, if you notice that you only when you vote for a president, you only really get a choice when it comes to like social issues, really, right? Mm-hmm. Really, it's only like little like social issues, because when it comes to like things like foreign policy and a lot of stuff like really dramatic stuff that really affects how our society operates and what it does, you don't really get a choice in that because both sides do the same thing, really.
Well, I mean, they're all corporate owned. It's just a matter, it depends on who they're owned by. It's like everyone used to always say, oh, George Bush is owned by the oil producing nations. He's basically owned by the oil industry. And I'm like, yeah, and Obama's owned by the insurance industry. So what's really worse? Yeah,
exactly. And from that kind of stuff is, it's hard to know for sure because it's kind of a mess, at least the way it looks like to me. But man, there's some big footprints out there though that it's like there's something going on in politics. It's like what was I want to say, was it Eisenhower or somebody like that had a quote from the 50s. One of the presidents, I think it was Eisenhower, said something like, anything that happens in politics, you can guarantee it was not an accident.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely is a chess game for sure. One of the things I was going to ask you too, and we go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. Speaking of all this kind of stuff with gun laws and stuff, is I think one thing that I think maybe like us gun people we don't think about maybe enough, because I've caught a few people on it, kind of like surprised that I asked them this question. But let's say you had control over the gun laws in this country, like where would you draw that line? Would you say of what like people could realistically just walk into a shop and be able to buy, basically, and taking like money out of it, as a factor?
I kind of draw the line at, and I hate to use the term WMDs.
Yeah.
If an argument can legitimately be made that this item is dangerous to not only the person owning it, but everyone around them. Because, let's face it, most people aren't qualified to operate heavy explosives or, nuclear weapons, etc. They're just not qualified to operate it.
Right.
It's like, it's like I believe the same way I believe about cars with that. If you don't have a driver's license, you can't drive on the public street. If you're not qualified to handle heavy artillery, you can't own heavy artillery.
Right.
So, I believe there is a such thing as the common good. It's not in with the, I guess, the best interest of the common good to allow some guy who just got fired from his, chemical engineering job in Tennessee, who's just getting a divorce, to own a nuclear weapon. That's probably not a good idea.
Right.
But as far as guns go, and machine guns, automatic weapons, even grenades that, are going to kill a few people if you use them.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, everyone who's a legal law-abiding citizen should have them because they're simply operated. They're not a danger to the person operating as long as they take reasonable precautions. So
that's where
I'm not a big
Yeah.
restrictive person when it comes to owning things. I think anybody wants to walk in that's 21 years of age, and I do say 21 years of age because I don't think 18-year-olds are qualified for anything.
Yeah, I can probably see that.
25-year-olds are, but
yeah, definitely not when you're 18.
People always use that argument. As well. They can go to war at 18. I'm like, I don't think they should be able to do that either.
Yeah,
you should be 21 before you go to war.
Yeah,
but I think most people 21 years of age should be able to buy what they want to buy, as long as, like I say, it's not a gross violation of the public safety, and they're a legal law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it. Basically, like anything, any barrel length that you want, obviously, on your gun, a rifle, a shotgun, and fully automatics, all that stuff. Because fully automatic's really no different from semi-automatic as far as the damage that can be done. You can almost do more. You really could do more damage with a semi-automatic than you can a fully automatic.
All you're going to do with a fully automatic is maybe super kill a couple of people before you run out of ammunition.
Yeah, exactly. Which, of course, is way worse if someone gets super killed. That's never good. And like handheld explosives, I can see that. But when you start getting into stuff like, like an AT-4 rocket or something that could like take down a building, and stuff like that. And here's the thing. I mean, you can get that stuff. You just have to go through a ton of paperwork, and got a bunch of hoops to jump through and stuff like that, which is fine. But yeah, that's basically how I look at it. Because
I do believe there's some people should be banned from ownership. Like, I think anyone who's been adjudicated as mentally ill or incompetent shouldn't have a firearm. My father-in-law had to be adjudicated because of Alzheimer's disease, and it was not safe for him to have a gun anymore. He was threatening to shoot like the postman and stuff.
Yeah.
So that I agree with. I agree with people that are felons, violent felons shouldn't have handguns, but only when they're either incarcerated or on probation. Once that they are cleared, as far as I'm concerned, they're exonerated. They should now have all their rights back.
So what do you think about the felons then? So you're saying like felons should, if they're out of jail, should get their gun rights back?
Well, if they're not on probation. Now, a lot of people get out on probation. You have a time frame where you have to prove that you are rehabilitated.
Right.
But once that probation is over, you should be considered legally rehabilitated, and you should have your rights back.
Yeah, I agree. See, I agree with that because, and that might be kind of a controversial thing. I don't know, but the way I look at it is like, it's do what?
It is, believe me. I've done videos where I say that, and people do not agree with me.
Oh, yeah, I can believe it. And
a lot of the people that are very staunchly personal rights and right-wing of all these things, and then it comes down to, when felons should have their rights back, that should fall right under your base principles of the government shouldn't be stripping people of their rights, but nope, for some reason they make an exception for ex-felons.
Yeah, see, I don't quite understand that because the thing is, like, it seems kind of hypocritical to say as a pro-gun argument that, well, it's only going to affect honest citizens if you ban guns. If you stop people from having guns, it's only the bad guys that are going to have guns. Well, it's the same thing with felons. It's if you tell felons that they can't have guns, well, it's only going to be the good felons that are going to not have guns. Yeah,
bad ones are still going to get them. And two, it's like, why should someone, because he committed a crime, a lot of people say, well, it's not a mistake, they committed a crime. Well, a lot of people make mistakes.
Yeah.
And it leads to bad decisions. And a lot of people make bad decisions. And why should someone who made a bad decision when they were 17, 18 years old not be able to defend their family when they're 35?
Yeah. I agree. And plus, a lot of times it's some kind of a non-violent offense just because they had some kind of, substance or item or whatever it was that's illegal,
And my opinion on non-violent felonies is you should not lose gun rights for non-violent felonies, period.
Yeah, definitely not, because it has nothing to do with guns. I mean, that had nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Nope. That's like saying, because you jaywalked, we're taking away your gun right. Well, what does that got to do with anything? So it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, really. I mean, to me, it would have to be, something to where it really shows like, this person is unstable for sure. They don't need to, we need to stop them from having any kind of gun, and to the point where they shouldn't drive either, probably, Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. The two things aren't connected. It's like saying, well, because you've proven you can't cross the street safely, we're taking away your rights to use a blender.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. What do those two things got to do with each other?
No, it doesn't make any sense at all. A lot of things don't make sense, though. One thing, too, that I think about occasionally, and I know it gets talked about some, is like, as technology moves along with guns and stuff, like, already it's hard to hang on to what we got, like, AR-15s and some of this, and, these types of guns, they've been around for 60 years and we're still like, clinging to the ability to have those, but man, just think about like 100 years from now, the guns that are going to be available. I mean, I don't know, that it's going to be tough, I think, for us to continue to keep our to fight and keep our gun rights whenever guns are becoming more and more and more advanced over the years.
And I tell you, I might be a sellout when it comes to that, because if eventually we get phasers and people come to us and say, hey, we'll give everybody phasers that can stun human beings or living creatures and disintegrate, non-organic matter, but you got traded all your guns for the phaser. I'll trade my guns in for a phaser in a minute.
Yeah, I might do the same. That would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome. I'd say we're probably away from that. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. What do you think? Like, gun technology is gonna. What do you think? Like, the next step is gonna be when it comes to like weapons technology? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be any major changes in gun technology, because basically it's a propellant and a projectile. And I mean, there's different ways to create that propellant, but still, explosion is the number one cheapest way to do it. I mean, there might be magnetic coil guns in the future that can fire faster and move a projectile faster with less recoil. That might happen. But never say never, because now the technology, it would just make it too large and too expensive. Right. But you never know. In a few years, they might be able to fit that technology into something the size of a Block 26.
That's true.
It might be reliable.
Or maybe
that's 100 years down the road, I think.
Yeah. Or maybe like improved powders to where you have cartridges that are like you might have a cartridge that's the size of like a little 22 short or something, but it moves at like 4,000 feet per second. And
the problem is we're running into just the laws of physics,
right.
And how fast matter can be propelled and with explosives and they experimented with that stuff with remember when they did the old revolvers that were sealed chambers? Because everyone's like, oh, there's so much energy escaping through the gas.
They sealed the chambers. The Gaunt revolver you're talking about?
Yeah, and it didn't do any different. They run with a sealed gas system, and it's like, it didn't really change how fast the projectile goes, because we're basically trying to overcome a lot of other different laws of physics, and it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
So they're like, they abandoned it because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Bullet out of a revolver functions pretty much identically to a bullet out of a semi-automatic.
Yeah. That's like I always tell people, you'll have people that'll ask you like, okay, I'm looking for a gun with a lot of knockdown power that's real light, but not much recoil. It's like...
I'm like, you are aware of that little tiny law of physics that states for every action there is an opposite and equal reaction, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Because anytime you're shoving mass in one direction or creating an explosive reaction which is basically still just shoving mass in a direction, there's going to be an equal reaction in the opposite direction.
Yeah, you're going to feel what the target feels. Yeah, basically. I mean, it's just more concentrated on a point. Is the difference. But yeah, that is funny. That's one also that cracks me up, is the whole knockdown power thing. I mean,
there is no such thing as knockdown power.
Yeah, especially if you mean it in the literal sense of like knocking someone down. I mean, I guess someone might jump back or something when they got shot. I don't know, but.
I mean, you could have knockdown power, but that would require spreading the impact over an area to where the impact energy is spread out over a wide enough area that the energy is lessened to where it goes below the penetration energy.
Right.
Because as long as you're going to have penetration, you're going to not have knockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'd have to shoot a bullet 2 feet wide at them and hit them in the chest, So that would be, then you start having knockdown power.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe if you had like a plate carrier on, that might apply. I don't know.
Well, that is, because that spreads that energy. The energy transfers from the bullet to the steel plate. The steel plate pushes into you. The steel plate is not going to penetrate your body, so it transfers all the energy into more of a shove, which is more what would technically be knockdown power.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Man, I've had $1 for every time I've been in a gun shop and I hear someone next to me say, like, what do you have with the most knockdown power? And then, of course, the guy behind the counter always acts like it's a legitimate question and uses it to sell whatever gun is not selling very well that week.
Yeah, exactly. Because let's just say, if I'm going to try to shove you down, I'm going to open my hands and use my palms to try to shove you down. I'm not going to get a sharpened number 2 pencil and poke at you with it. I'm trying to knock you down.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's funny. That is another funny one. Just people, man, people love to just get angry about, like, what's the best caliber, 9 and 45 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's such small differences nowadays, because what matters is there's 2 things that matter: penetration and what you hit.
Yeah.
And the only time that bigger bullets give you an advantage is if they give you more square footage of what you're hitting, so therefore you have a bigger chance of nicking a kidney or an artery or etc.
Right.
So the bigger bullets do sometimes give you an advantage, because, where the 9mm might have missed that major artery by 1,000th of an inch, the spread out 45 might hit it.
Right.
But we're not talking instant death here. We're talking them bleeding out in a second, a couple minutes.
Right.
But
then with the 9, you might have
a difference there. But that's about it.
But with the 9, you might have more chances, of.
You might have more options to hit something. What is more important? Shooting with something that's 1.5 millimeters wider once, or shooting with something that's 1.5 millimeters narrower 3 times?
Yeah, exactly. And also too, it comes down to like just like how much importance you put on self-defense. There's guys out there that, man, every day they've got like a Wilson Combat 1911 with 3 spare mags on their hip, and they got the whole like Masa U vest and everything. Like, there's those guys, and then there's people that are more like me, where I like to. A lot of times I carry a 380 in my pocket, honestly. And is it because I think it's the best carry gun and the best self-defense tool? No, not at all. But to me, it's a balance. It's not. I'm not so worried about getting into a shooting where I feel like I have to always have a handgun like that. Like I'm perfectly fine with it.
It's a calculated risk, and that's what I always tell people every day. There is no such thing as the right way. It's like when people say "need" to me, it ticks me off. Yeah. It's like I don't need to have 50 rounds of 45 on me every day.
Yeah.
When you say need, that kind of angers me, because I don't need it.
Right.
It's like I made a video recently where people say, if you conceal carry, if you open carry, you need a retention holster. I'm like, no, because there's no rash of people taking people's guns out of holsters and shooting them.
Yeah,
so saying need is a little strong. In fact, you are far more likely to get a head injury in your everyday life than you are to have someone steal your gun and shoot you with it. But if you're not wearing a helmet while you tell me that, I'm not paying attention to you, because you obviously aren't good at math.
Yeah, exactly. How many people will tell you that if you don't carry a 45, you're wasting your time, and then don't have a fire extinguisher in their house? Yeah,
I know, exactly. Or don't have one in their car even.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, you don't have a fire extinguisher in your car? I got a fire extinguisher in my car.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and really, like you said with the helmet, I mean, you're far more likely to get into a car accident than you are shooting. So, yeah, why don't you wear a full-face motorcycle helmet whenever you get in a car if you're that worried?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, NASCAR drivers do it for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it saves your life. So, you might get in a car accident, wear a helmet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I carry a gun in a lot of ways. I mean, it would be an awesome thing to be able to, save someone's life, or to stop some situation where someone could have killed a lot of people. Yeah, that would be an awesome thing, and I would definitely try to do that if I was thrown into that situation, that unfortunate situation. But really, I carry a gun out of selfish reasons, mainly just because I'm not because I'm like afraid to die or any of that kind of stuff. It's just, you know what, if someone wants to get me, I just want to make it expensive for them. It's like a principle of thing. Like, no one's going to shoot me without me shooting back. That's just kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, I make people mad all the time on the gun forums, on the gun channels, when I say things like, I carry a gun for a couple of reasons, really. One is to protect me and my family, and two, because I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to have any reasons beyond that. And I always tell people, I'm not a sheepdog. I'm not out there to protect you and your family. I will if I can, in a way that doesn't endanger my family.
Right.
But if it comes down to you or me or my family or yours, I'm looking out for me and mine first. I'm not a sheepdog. I don't like that whole sheepdog mentality.
Yeah.
Because I don't also, it's the reverse too. I don't like the fact that you seem to think you're my protector, because you aren't my protector.
It's a little pretentious.
Get the hell away from me.
Yeah. I'm with you on that for sure. It's a little bit
the
like
very notion that you think I need protecting by you is insulting.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. It really is insulting in some ways. But whatever. If that's what people enjoy, I guess. But I
say, if you're a sheepdog, good. Join the police force. Join the military. Prove to us you're a sheepdog. Otherwise, shut up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's if the whole society collapse, all that kind of stuff that we all talk about happens. I hope that I don't run across one of these sheepdog type of dudes. I'm going to be on my own with my own people and going out to the woods by myself.
Yeah, it's just, if you get into the ideas, the faulty ideas people have about what it's going to be like with society collapses, that's for 3 or 4 different shows in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it always amazes me. Like, I have a video where I talk to people like that. It's like, you need more gun training. You need more gun training. What if society collapses? You need more gun training. What if, we have where the crap hits the fan? You've got to have more gun training. And I'm like, I'll ask these same people. I was like, how good are you at farming? How many classes have you taken on auto mechanics? Can you rebuild the engine in your truck?
Can you build a fire out of nothing?
Can you build a shelter? Because you can't do all those things if you can't treat a wound, if you can't treat an infection, if you can't treat, common sickness and, do all these other things. Well, then you need to be taking classes on those before you take more gun classes, because pulling a trigger is pulling a trigger. These other things are things you're going to need to be doing every day.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of great firearms trainers out there, and it's a great option for people if they want to use that resource. But here's the thing: you have to take those guys with a grain of salt, because anything they say is justifying their existence.
They're salesmen. A lot of people always like a huge car salesman. They're trying to sell you a car. Well, I hate to bring it to you, firearms training. People are trying to sell you firearms training.
Yep. Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt. I understand that, it's not a negative thing unless you allow it to be. I mean, I've seen people that allow themselves to be poisoned to the point where they become paranoid and Napoleonistic because they take training, and that's a small minority of people.
Right.
It can be a bad thing, but getting as much training as you can have is never a bad thing unless you allow yourself to ignore other things you need more. If things really do hit the fan and we don't have support of our society for a while, it's going to be much more important that you're able to feed your family, treat illness, build structure, repair your car, etc., than it is that you can face off against 3 to 15 ninjas with your firearm.
Yeah, and also it comes down to just your general quality of life too. If you spend your whole life training and prepping and doing and all this kind of stuff, then what life have you left for yourself to protect in the first place?
I mean, some guys love that. I mean, they're not never.
It's like a hobby. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, there's a few people that's just how they're never happier than if they're doing something like that. And I'm like, that's great. Do it. If it's what makes you happy.
Yeah.
But then don't start getting some sort of messiah complex where you feel it's your need to convince everyone else that they have to do the same thing, because reality is not going to support you in that opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because you got to put it into perspective. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know what cataclysm it's going to be. It might be everyone might die instantly, or it might be something where it's just, that's the thing. You just don't know what's going to happen. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, unless if you truly, like you said, if you truly enjoy preparing for that kind of stuff and that is fun for you, then you're not losing anything because you're having fun doing it. But getting paranoid and feeling like you have to, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, you don't have to. There's other things in life that you need to pay equal attention to.
Yep.
It's just not. I love these people who come to me and go, well, you say this, but this firearms instructor said that. I'm like, yeah, if he's selling you a product, I'm not.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. We always looked at it with the whole prepping thing. I think it's a good idea to have at least one, what I would consider like a battle rifle of some kind, like AR, AK, whatever it is you like, and at least like a few hundred rounds, maybe like 1,000, something like that, and 10 or 20 magazines, and then like enough food and water to where you wouldn't have you could avoid leaving your house for like 3 months.
Yeah,
like to me that's reasonable, because if something happens that lasts longer than 3 months, you're probably not going to be able to stay at your house anyways. So,
no, I mean, I got a year's worth of food in my house, freeze dried. I got a year's worth of freeze dried food. I got 3 55-gallon drums of water, or 50-gallon drums of water. I've got a water source, half a mile from me. I could hold it in my house for a while if I had to.
Yeah,
but I don't do it because I'm afraid something's going to happen. I do it because I want to.
Yeah, it's easy enough, That's the thing. It's like, to me, where prepping gets out of hand is it depends on your budget. If you're spending like all of your spendable income and you're not like getting bills paid because you're hoarding all this kind of stuff, then that's becomes kind of a problem. But if it's like a hobby, yeah.
And it's mindset. If you're doing it because you think, hey, it's a good idea, more power to you. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
If you're doing it because you're afraid the government's coming to get you tomorrow, get some therapy.
Yeah. You might want to sit down and rethink a few things.
Yeah.
Things are never as bad as we like to think. That's the thing. I mean,
and people like to pretend that this whole mindset of the world coming to an end is something new, and that they have reason to think this now. Well, people have been doing this since the 30s, the 20s.
Man.
This whole thing has existed for as long as modern society has existed. But it's nothing new. You haven't realized something catastrophic that people have gone unnoticed or didn't exist before. It's the same old thing.
Yeah. It's funny how, like, when if you study history much at all, you really see how like everything is like the same almost. You look at like old societies, Rome or different societies or whatever, ancient Greece, and it's scary like how many similarities there are, with modern society. So many things that we think are modern, people have figured out thousands of years ago, and
there's always been chicken riddles. There'll always be chicken riddles until the world actually does explode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. What else? What other genius questions did I have that I was going to ask you? Let's see.
I hope they're not too genius, or I'll be out of my ballpark.
Let's see. Oh yeah, one of the things, and I've seen you make jokes about this before on your channel before. One of the things that the anti-gunners love to say is that the reason that we have guns is because we're basically like overcompensating for our own shortcomings. That we feel more manly or tough or or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's like, I think I made a comment in a video not so long ago when people say, "Oh, the reason you got that big gun is because you have a tiny penis," and I'm like, "That's not why I have this gun. That is simply a coincidence."
Yeah, yeah. I think I've seen that. It's pretty damn funny. Yeah, I mean, there's some quote from Ford that they like to bring out, except they always leave out the part where he later came back and like changed his mind about it. Well,
and he says sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah.
Not everything is related to your penis.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. I heard someone say that, I don't remember who it was, but they're saying something like, that's what, when they said that whole thing about, people think that guns are making up for a small penis, they said, well, that's what big trucks are for,
Yeah,
really.
I mean, yeah. I drive a small car and carry a big gun, so what does that say?
Yeah, exactly.
Small penis, big testicles, I don't know what it means, because...
Yeah, I know. And of course, that's something that the anti-gunners, they love to make it look like we are just a bunch of Neanderthals out there just wanting to, throw a weight around like big bad me and my gun and all this kind of stuff. And they just have no concept of, just self-defense and the feeling of being able to actually protect yourself against realistic threats and stuff like that. I just can't even relate to how people just don't even have a gun in their house of any kind. That's just insane to me to think about the fact that someone could just come into their house and basically do whatever they want to them. I mean, that's just crazy.
Have you never watched a slasher movie or one of those horror movies? Because 95% of all horror movies could be over with in the first 10 minutes if the person had a gun in their house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they cut the power, and oh, they, we were out in the country, and oh my God, they got a hack. Well, if you had a shotgun, that'd been over real quick.
Yeah, that's probably why I never found those movies too interesting when I was a kid, because I was like, wait, why didn't they just get the Uzi? I don't understand.
Yeah, or oh my God, we picked up a hitchhiker. Now he's following us and making our life miserable, and he's going to kill us. Well, shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
Stop that whole thing real fast.
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's just crazy.
That's why you don't see these things in real life. That's why you don't see like that Saw program. That's like when he captures people and puts them in this. Well, for one, those convoluted plans never work out. Something always goes wrong. Right. Somebody sees something or hears something, and you get caught.
Yep.
And also, if you go out and try to gather up 10 people, like one of them's going to probably have a handgun and going to blow your balls off.
Yeah.
So it's not going to work out in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. And the criminals know this too. I mean, that's why there's not a lot of break-ins or like home invasions in the country. Yeah. It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Doesn't happen very often at all. Well, that's another reason that I always like to bring up is as far as like a concealed carry, or why to at least have a gun in your car, because a very likely scenario, almost one of the most likely scenarios to need your gun in some ways, would be someone has broken into your house while you're gone, and then you come home in the middle of it, and there's a guy standing in your house. That's definitely
that's a totally different. That is a very viable scenario, and it's one that a lot of people talk about. But then a lot of people fall into this mindset that they're afraid to leave a gun in their car. And I actually did a video talking about it's okay to leave a gun in your car.
Yeah.
If you want to leave your gun in your car, great. Take precautions to make sure that gun isn't stolen. Lock it in your glove box, install a safe, etc. But if someone steals your gun, breaks into your car, steals your gun, they act like, oh, well, I'm responsible for that. No, you're not responsible for the actions of a criminal. They're no more than you are if they break into your house and steal your gun. They're the ones that violated the sanctity of your car, your property, your home, etc. They're the bad guys, not you.
Yeah.
If you choose to be prepared to have a gun in your car, like I say, just take standard precautions. I just did a video where I installed a safe under the seat in my Jeep so that I keep a gun in the car.
Yeah.
If you like, well, let's not. If someone has an impact hammer, they'll get that out in a second. I'm like, how many criminals are walking around town with impact hammers and air compressors or some sort of power source to run it?
Yeah, and they'll steal your car before they worry about a gun. That's the thing. Guns really. I mean, if a criminal has a chance, they will steal one, but they're really not that high price of an item on the street because they don't really bring a whole lot of money on the street. Is the thing.
Oh no, but you'll get more out of jewelry or something like that they can hawk than you will a gun because they can't turn around and hawk it.
Yeah,
that's the reason. The more hawkable. You talk to law enforcement, the more easily something is transferred into money by hawking it or selling it, the better. And guns are harder to hawk, or they're impossible to hawk and hard to sell because people don't want to touch dirty guns. There's a little small portion of the really bad guys who won't touch dirty guns. So it's hard for bad guys who just steal a car. What's the chance that they're going to have? Your common car burglar is going to have the contacts to turn around and turn a hot gun. Not very likely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're almost more likely to, if they saw a gun, they'd probably take it, but they would almost be more likely to leave the gun and steal your radio or something because they know they can sell that real quick, if
it's in a safe, they're not very likely to get into a safe in your car. I mean, it's just, that's not their mindset. They're not there for an hour with tools when they steal your car. Car burglaries are smash and grab. They're not smash and pick the lock and see what's in the safe. They're, usually if your car's not in your home, it's not in your driveway, it's somewhere where it's public, and they don't have a long time. So
right, and plus, how is that so different from them breaking into your house and stealing it? I mean, criminals.
I've said that a dozen times. I'm like, why is my car that has an alarm system and is sitting in a public place more of a target than my home that is now sitting empty, has glass windows that you can get into easily? It's just, I don't understand why people think there's such a difference there target-wise.
Yeah.
And it's more easy to scope out your home and know you've got things in your home worth stealing than it is your car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't get that. I mean, I think, having a car gun really is a good idea. I've been meaning to pick up some old, some old junky Glock 17 or something like that to,
I've got a Glock 33 in my car with a holster for it that's in the safe under my seat. No, leave it there.
Yeah.
And it also serves another purpose. If I'm ever rushing to get out, I get out someday and I'm halfway to, say I'm going to Salem or something. I'm halfway to Salem and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to put on my gun. I've got a gun in the holster under the seat. Just pull over, put it on, and I'm set to go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. A lot of times I've got like a backpack that I keep some stuff in, and a lot of times I'll throw that in the car with me, because you never know what could happen. Well, I mean, people act like preppers are crazy sometimes, but stuff does happen. Like recently, our area.
Is having jumper cables crazy?
Oh yeah, I know, really. But like in our area, in kind of the around Tennessee and Kentucky, there's some big snowstorms, and out here people aren't really used to that. We're not really prepared for that. And some people in Kentucky got stopped in their cars. They had to like spend the night, in their cars.
Oh yeah, I always plan for that because I keep water and food and a heat source. I keep sterno, water, food, a little stove that I can fold out and cook on if I have to.
Yeah.
I can even cook in my car if I fold it down my back seat, but the front I can even cook in my car with it.
Yeah.
And I do that because I have been trapped before. I went camping one time, long time ago. While we were camping, it started raining. We started having flash flood. Washed out the only 2 roads in and out of where we were camping. We were stuck there for like 4 days. Couldn't get out until the National Guard came and got the road fixed.
Wow.
So, and luckily I had a knapsack full of food and everything else that kept me relatively comfortable for those 4 days. Or else it could have been pretty bad. Luckily, most of us that were trapped there had that.
Yeah.
And we had enough that the few people that weren't prepared, maybe had just used all their rations and were leaving, luckily it was the beginning of the weekend, so most people had just gotten there. But some people that were leaving didn't have a lot of stuff, but people that had just got there had enough that they could share so that everyone had enough, so things didn't go bad.
Yeah.
Now, in that same situation, if nobody had anything, things could have gone bad fast.
Yeah, exactly. And people die in those situations. Something like that happened in Georgia. I don't remember if it was last year or a couple of years ago. Recently in Georgia, there was a big snowstorm. And of course, they're definitely not used to that there. And I think it was like 4 people died. Froze to death.
Yeah, people were stuck in their cars for 2 days on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you're stuck in your car for 2 days, you're going to want water, snacks, And I'm sorry, you're also going to want a way to protect yourself in case someone else who doesn't have water and snacks wants to take yours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to protect what you got. I mean, I'd be happy to share with someone if they needed it, but if I only got enough just to keep me alive, it's like, sorry, man. I mean.
And even if I got just enough to keep me alive, I like to think. I'm not saying this is a definite because things might be different in the actual circumstance. I like to think I would say, okay, I can survive for 2 days, or both of us can survive for 1. I would say, okay, we're both going to survive for 1 and hope someone comes.
Yeah.
But, never know.
Yeah.
But if someone comes and tries to take my food, that's different. It's me. I'm surviving for 2 days, and you're not making it past right now.
Right. Of course, water is the big thing because you can actually survive for, like 3 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, you can go a long time with no food.
Yeah. Yeah, so water is a big thing. Of course, you have to be careful. I had this teacher when I was in high school that lived he was a teacher in Alaska for a little while. Because apparently it pays really well if you teach in way up out in the middle of nowhere in Alaska.
Oh yeah, it does. Nursing and teaching pays really well in Alaska. That's why I've considered moving up there. Because I could teach again if I had to.
Yeah.
But I'm married to a nurse, so I'm like, in Alaska, we'd clean up.
Oh yeah, that's right. You would actually. But yeah, so he taught some school. They had like 9 kids in their high school or something crazy like that. But he said that they taught him that if you're ever stranded out there in the snow, don't eat the snow. He said what you're supposed to do is you build a fire and then you dig a little trench in the snow downhill from the fire and then make out a little bowl basically. And the fire would of course melt the snow and it would run down and you have a little pool of warmish water to drink. It said it tastes nasty, but I think it's hypothermia issues and a bunch of other issues when you start trying to survive off of frozen water. So. Yeah, because your body has to cool it, has to warm it back up, right, and then that lowers your body temperature. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's actual good advice. Yeah, I thought that was cool. He told me one time that apparently. And also, don't drink the yellow snow too. Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, it's not good. It's probably not lemon flavored. He told me one time that that I didn't realize this, but polar bears actually are one of the most dangerous bears, even more so than grizzly bears, and that they actually. Polar bears are brown bears, so they're the same family as grizzlies. So they're very dangerous. Oh well, he said that some natives that were up there, they just came up to him one day and they're like, "Oh, by the way, this polar bear has been tracking you for several days. We've killed it though." They'll follow you for days. That's the way they hunt. So that's scary. They'll follow a seal for a long time before they catch it. So they will hunt that way. Yeah, that's scary. I've always thought I'm not big of a hunter at all. Do you hunt at all?
When I was younger, I hunt all the time. It's kind of the way of life. I was more of a bow hunter than I was, any type of rifle or firearm hunter.
Yeah.
But I hunt all the time as a kid. Nowadays, I don't kill anything.
Yeah. I never got into hunting too big because I never really felt like I had the patience to sit out there and wait for stuff to kill. Plus, I always liked animals, and I'm fine with going to the grocery store. I know what it is. I don't have any, misconceptions about it. I know that stuff's still getting killed, but I just never.
But I'm not doing it. So
yeah, I never.
I always I am a big carnivore. I love meat. I would eat just meat and potatoes all the time. If it was up to me. And people say, "Well, how do you rectify that with your, your animal rights opinions and your non-cruelty opinions?" And I'm like, well, the way I rectify with myself is I like to try to rationalize with myself. I like to try to pretend that every animal that I eat had it coming.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, I ate a cow, but that cow was an anti-Semite. So,
that's right.
They had it coming.
Yeah. But I always thought it'd be cool to get out, to go up to one of those hunting trips to Alaska. I don't really hunt, to kill a grizzly bear. I always thought that would be a cool thing to do. Just like, to be able to say
I'm totally opposite of that. I am totally against killing predator animals. I don't see anything about it that's thrilling. I go to Alaska all the time, but I go on expeditions where we don't kill them. We see them. We appreciate them. I stood silently and quietly as 7 or 8 grizzly bears just walked right past our group and then through our group, even like weaving through us and going down to the river to catch some salmon.
Yeah,
and I would much rather do that than I would shoot one from 50 yards away.
Yeah, and maybe I'd feel the same way if I actually got out there. But I've always thought maybe it'd be a little more fair to shoot something that could actually kill me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's true, and I would agree with you 100% if the way you went after him was with a pointing stick naked.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'll remember that. I'll make sure
shooting with a high-powered rifle from 50 yards away, he didn't have any chance. He didn't even know you were there.
That's true. Okay, just for you then, if I go out there, I'll do that. Naked, pointy stick. Got it.
Okay, that's the way to do it. That's why people always like, well, man, I killed a big old buck. I was like, unless you dropped it from a tree branch onto his back and chewed his jugular vein out with your teeth, I don't want to hear how you're a man for shooting a deer from 100 yards away.
There is I've heard that you can spear hunt year-round, actually. Like, you don't have to follow
I think you can. I mean, you don't see a lot of people doing it. But.
Yeah. That would be impressive if someone killed a deer with a spear.
Yeah, and I've got no problem with killing deer. I mean, it's necessary. I mean, I firmly believe there's a few good reasons to kill things. To eat it, to maintain a healthy population, or to destroy an invasive species.
Yeah.
Those are all good reasons to kill another thing. I personally don't want to do it anymore, but those are all great reasons. Just because you find something annoying or you don't like it, that's not a good reason. Or to prove you're a man, that's not a good reason. So who doesn't do that?
Yeah, it's not. I never got that part of hunting as. I mean, I get that it's a primal instinct, in a way, getting out there in the woods and killing an animal. But I don't know. I mean, you don't really. The difference is you don't actually have to, because you don't actually have to kill it to eat it. But I don't know. It's cool.
The way I was always taught growing up is, it is okay to enjoy the art of hunting.
Right.
It is not okay to enjoy killing something.
Yeah.
And a lot of people seem nowadays to cross that line where they're not enjoying the art of hunting. They're enjoying, I got to kill something.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a mental illness as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
The fact that you're taking pleasure from ending the life of another mammal, something that's warm-blooded like you, and you're taking life from it, stealing it from its family, its offspring, etc., and you're taking pleasure from that, well, to me, that makes you a psychopath as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
If you take pleasure in the actual act of killing.
Yeah, because I mean, nature is all it's we're all kind of part of the same thing, and nature is here, I think, for us to use. But I think we're supposed to not waste it. I think when you're wasting something, it's always bad. Yeah. And if you're enjoying the killing of something, that's
even if you eat it, even if you say, okay, it's okay because I ate it. Well, no, I'm not saying that it's not okay to kill it without eating it, because you're not going to eat all invasive species you kill.
Right.
But the fact that you got an erection from killing something. That's the problem to me.
Yeah, like those hunting videos where they kind of you ever see those on whatever outdoor channel or something.
Yeah, I won't watch them because I'll want to. My response to those people is like, "Well, prove you're a man. Come hunt me."
Yeah. I can't watch that stuff either. But I've of course caught them, just from other people watching them and stuff. And they always, it's nothing against hunting. Like I have nothing wrong with people who hunt, but I don't know. They always strike me as a little bit weird. Something about like the way that they get so excited about it and stuff. I don't know.
And like I say, it's okay to enjoy the process and enjoy the art of hunting. And then let's face it, it doesn't take a whole lot of skill to do the vast majority of hunting. People always talk about, it's a skill. I'm like, really? I see your 6-year-old kind of got a buck for his first time out this year. So are you trying to tell me your 6-year-old is a highly skilled hunter?
Yeah.
So it's like, no, it's not all that skillful anymore. Modern technology, which you didn't build that gun, I hate to break it to you. That gun was designed by someone else and created by someone else. So you're standing on the back of someone else's invention and doing something that's very easy to do. Pull trigger.
Yeah, especially now with the tracking point, right?
Exactly. I mean, if you're shooting something with a scope from 100 yards away, that didn't take a lot of skill. My grandmother can do it.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old can do it.
Yeah, and you don't want to shoot an animal at too far away. Then it's it's inhumane as hell. I mean, end up shooting its foot off or something.
Well, yeah, I always bow hunt. Bow hunt is up close and personal, which is one of the reasons why I don't hunt anymore. But it's up close and personal.
Yeah, I miss shooting bows. Bows are fun. I guess you use compound or traditional? Or?
I've used both, longbow and compound.
Yeah.
But we Tri-County both range back home in West Virginia. That's my uncle's business. And I grew up, we have 176 acres out in the middle of the McClintock Game Reserve.
Yeah.
And so I grew up around bows constantly. I mean, we have a full bow range out on our property, an indoor range, an outdoor range, trail range. So, bows were just a way of life when I was a kid.
Yeah. I grew up shooting bows a lot too. I kind of got out of it, but kind of miss it. It was fun.
I don't even own one now.
Yeah? Huh.
I keep saying I want to buy one, and I'm like, I have no clue about the modern technology or anything.
Yeah.
So I talked to Tex Grebner a lot about it. I'm like, well, which one do you think I should get? Because these new bows have got me confused. So he gave me a lot of advice, but I'm still thinking I'm just going to go back to a long recurve bow. I'm just not going to mess with two new ones.
Yeah, like Dad really likes he has a hummingbird recurve. I believe it's a recurve, and it's some kind of custom bow maker or something. He really likes that one. But those are neat. Those really neat handmade recurve or longbows are really cool. I like those.
Yeah, I like that old style bow. So that's probably what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, there's something neat too about the instinct element of it, where you're not like aiming per se. Like you are, but there's like a little bit of instinct involved. Something cool about that.
And it's a lot. It's more satisfying if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I like it. Of course, I kind of want to get a crossbow, but that's only because of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm with you on that. That's such a great show, amazing show.
Yeah.
I remember watching it. The first. I watched it on the night that it first aired. Thinking like, okay, a TV show about zombies probably won't be good, but sure, I'll watch it. Wow.
When it first aired, I was already a fan of the comic book, so I actually we had a local theater here in town that it's the old theater that aired the first showing, the night of the showing.
Oh,
and I went to watch it in a theater with 2,000 other people, and it was awesome.
Oh, that's cool. So I've never been a comic book guy, so I'm one of those that didn't know what it was, so that's cool. I
definitely knew what it was.
Yeah, I bet. Man, it's an amazing show. It really surprised me how well it's been done. I mean, it's really not just about zombies, really. It's just so much better than that.
Yeah, it's a good show. I mean, it has its ups and its downs.
Yeah, it does.
Sometimes the book is better. Sometimes the show is better, and but overall, it's a good show, and I enjoy it every week.
Yeah. Does the fact that you already kind of know what's kind of going to happen, does that take away from it some, or?
Well, no, you really don't know. I have like a general idea what's happening. Like I knew they were going to Alexandria before they went to Alexandria because it's a big part of the book.
Yeah.
But there's so much of it that's different. Like in the book, Carol's not alive, so she's not playing the role she's playing in the TV series. Daryl never existed.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So it's completely different in a lot of different ways.
Huh. That's cool. Yeah, it's interesting how like the zombie thing, like just really caught the gun culture by storm for a while there, and then it kind of seems like it kind of petered out. But that show definitely is just plowing on through still.
Oh yeah, I've always been a zombie fan ever since I remember being a little kid back in like 1971, sitting on the couch at my mother's house and watching Night of the Living Dead, the black, the black in black and white. So I thought it was black and white TV.
Yeah.
But so I remember sitting on the couch by myself as a little kid. I mean, this was 1971, so I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
I believe that was the first time it had ever aired on national television. And I'm myself watching it with a blanket that I kept pulling over my head when the zombies got scary.
That's cool.
So I've been a fan for a long time.
Yeah, I've always liked zombie movies. There's something cool about. I've never been like a huge fan of like the real like slasher horror movies, but there's always been something cool to me about zombie movies because there's guns in them. Because it actually
people miss the greater meaning of zombies movies. Zombie movies aren't okay. There's a monster. Zombie movies are about a whole philosophical mindset of. And that's why I don't like fast zombies. I prefer slow zombies. So the whole point of zombies is it doesn't matter if somebody is slower than you or dumber than you or less capable than you. If it's just you against 10,000 of them, they're dangerous.
Right.
So it's kind of like a social commentary of when the masses become stupid and slow and uneducated. It doesn't matter that they're wrong. They're still going to win even though they're wrong because there's so many of them.
It's kind of like in Shaun of the Dead, they really kind of made that point clear, I think.
Yeah, that's the whole point of zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, the scenes where they was it the beginning of the movie where they showed them like people like in the grocery store that weren't zombies but they were acting like zombies, sort of, stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the whole point of zombies. It's a comment on the social norm, and it's just people miss that.
Yeah, I know. That's why it is frustrating with how people are so easily like we talked about at the beginning of the show, corralled into this camp or that camp, because sometimes we can be kind of like zombies. We just consume and
people just miss. I love how people watch shows and they miss the meaning. We have this collective understanding when we're watching a movie, but then we forget to apply it to our real life. Like with zombies, we don't apply that to our real life. But it is bad when the population becomes stupid and uneducated and docile. And it's like in movies, people will always remember. We watch a movie and we're like, oh, that's big, big industry has taken over the world and it's a horrible thing. But then we don't apply that to our real life, Or we watch, I love how people can watch movies and they can always cheer that the good guy gets the gun. Aha, the good guy has the gun. There's nothing better than the gun in the good guy's hand. And then they forget to put that over to their real life too. That, it's awesome even in real life when the good guy has a gun.
Yeah. In real life, the only good guy with guns is the cops or military. It's like, what got lost there? Yeah, I noticed that too. Or like for example, the movie Avatar. People see that movie and they think, oh yeah, look at this liberal propaganda, and this kind of stuff. But it's like, look, this is an awesome movie to kind of remind people of our balance with nature.
Mm-hmm. I always call that movie Fern Gully 2.
It is, yeah, it is kind of. Yeah, I could see that easily. Like there's that whole thing where we were just saying reminds me. There's this. Are you familiar with Doug Stanhope, the comedian?
Yeah, I have actually. He did the Man Show and stuff with Joe Rogan, didn't he?
Yeah. But he has this. There's a segment in this bit that he did. I watched on YouTube, and so I've always seen stand-up comedy as kind of like. It depends on the comedian, of course. Larry the Cable Guy doesn't necessarily fit into this category, but stand-up comedy kind of like picked up where the music from like the 60s and 70s, the whole Cultural Revolution kind of dropped off or got drowned out by mall culture in the 80s. And it seems like stand-up comedy... Yeah, that's true of
a lot of comedy.
Almost like kind of picked that up to an extent. But Stanhope has this bit, I can't remember, it's called like I Don't Care Anymore or something like that. It was on YouTube. But he goes through this whole thing talking about how... like he's about ready to give up trying to like tell people about things that are going on because he said it'd be like if he was in a starving country and he was like, hey, look over there's a big plate of food over there. See it right over there in the corner? And then everyone in the audience goes, oh yeah, that's so awesome. That's so awesome that you showed us where that food is. You're so smart. Thanks for doing that. And then nobody eats it.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's America.
Yeah, exactly.
And you show them all these lessons, and they'll even agree to it, but then they agree with them, but then they won't apply them to their real life.
Yeah, exactly. It's frustrating, and it makes sense because I'm guilty of it too sometimes. It's so easy to get just caught up in the day to day of things, like okay, get this bill paid, do this thing, and you gotta slow yourself down and stop and think sometimes, about what you're doing. And am I really doing what I want to do? Am I really working the kind of job that I want to work? Am I really living the way that I actually want to live? Or am I just basically gobbling up someone else's idea of what I should be doing,
Well, yeah, that's right. People get indoctrinated into they have to accept 100% of one thing or 100% of another, and they forget that they're allowed to believe different things.
Yeah, exactly. I think on the upside though of that, not to be doom and gloom. I think on the upside though, the internet, I think, is going to be the single thing that's going to really start changing that. I mean, the internet's been around for a while, but I think we're only just seeing the very beginning of the positive effects the internet's going to have, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, it has a positive and it has a negative, because it could very easily be used incorrectly, where people are fed so much bullshit that they no longer are able to separate the. I mean, just look at like what's his face, what's his name, Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
I mean, he feeds people such freaking garbage that he knows is garbage. It's to make money. He tells you what he tells you to make money. Like, Glenn Beck will come on and tell you, the government's going to poison the water supply. Hey, here's our sponsor that sells water filters. Yeah, and people don't see that. They just like, Glenn Beck said it, so it's true. It's just, so it can be misused, but.
Well, because people, even if you agree with stuff that Glenn Beck says, I mean, you got to research stuff. That's the thing. You got to research it on your own.
Yeah, I do that on anything I want to believe strongly about. I got to find what I consider hard evidence, one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Researching is definitely important. I look at the internet almost as like, I don't know. Let's say you had like a frat house or something with a bunch of guys living in this one house. And there's all this like disarray, and everyone's like fighting against each other, and like all these problems, like the dishes aren't getting done or the yard's not getting mowed, and it's just kind of a mess. But nothing can be done about it because no one is ever in the same place at the same time ever.
Yeah.
And the internet is almost like it's like a daily meeting or something. You know what I'm saying? Where it's it doesn't necessarily just automatically fix the problem, but it puts everybody kind of in everyone's face. So eventually, like, the problems will get fixed because now everyone's forced to communicate with each other.
Hopefully, but first they have to realize what the problems are. Can't have everyone screaming, like one person screaming that the dishes are the biggest problem, another person screaming the vacuuming is the biggest problem, and another person screaming that cleaning the windows is the biggest problem, and no one listening to each other.
Right.
We do run that risk where too many people are screaming about too many different things that no one focuses on anything.
Which is kind of where we are now in some ways, but because there's so much information out there, it'd be kind of like if in those meetings they got to the point where they're like, okay, well, let's actually sit down and talk about which of these is more important. I don't know. If everyone having such access to information, I have a hard time seeing it as not being just a insanely positive thing, because it's never happened before, at least that we know of, that people have had this much access to information.
Oh no, I think it's awesome. I mean, I remember in days when if I wanted to know something, I had to either just get over it, either had to know it or had to get up and get off my butt and go to a library and look it up.
Yeah,
nowadays I can sit and watch something on TV and be like, what does that mean? And look it up on my phone and instantly know what it means.
Yeah.
But we do run the risk that if we allow, like, a lot of people don't see the risk of, like, well, I don't see any problem in letting Comcast decide who they give bandwidth to. Well, except that means you're allowing Comcast to decide what information you see.
Yeah.
So you're limiting what information you get to see there. So that I see a big problem in allowing a certain organization to control the message.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We gotta watch out for everything. Everybody. That's the thing. Where everybody's coming from all these different angles, and it's hazy out there. That's why I gotta. I can't say it enough. It's like people. We have to do our own research and stuff. We gotta actually look into things instead of just being zombies, like you said.
Yeah. But most people don't want to do that effort. They don't want to bother with that.
Yeah, because it takes work. But you know what? That's the thing. That's another problem right there, is that people are kind of missing the point, I think, a little bit about what life is all about, right? To me, life is not about just how long can you live, and and status and all this kind of stuff. I mean, life is complex. It's a journey. It's about exploring things and learning things and struggling and overcoming and all this kind of stuff. And we almost in our society, we look at those things as like obstacles, like how can we work around that kind of stuff? It's amazing how creative people can be at allowing themselves to be more and more lazy, and that's kind of ironic.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'm very lazy, but I don't allow myself to become lazy to the point where I'm not experiencing the things I should experience.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all lazy at times. Yeah. I mean, I'm no one to talk either. I mean, I'll sit around and watch some TV show or something like that. We're all lazy. But yeah, that's a lot of it. I think is we, it's just the way our culture is set up. It encourages laziness in some ways, but.
Oh yeah, very much.
Anyways, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really enjoyed it. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Sure, anytime.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I guess I'll let you go, and we'll if there's anyone still listening to the show, we'll let them get back to eating their cheeseburger or whatever they're doing.
All right, sounds good to me.
All right, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. See you
Later.